erupted. The governor has said it's a foreign hand that's involved, foreign funding that's involved. The DMK up in arms. It has demanded proof. What does the AIA DMK, who was in power at that time, have to say?
Lines and words of the governor to suit their political narrative. Even if no thief will say that and he'll agree that he has stolen. It's the same with DMK. 100 days of protest went peacefully. We, where we were in power, gave protection to the people because it is a democratic right of the people to hold protests. But there are social evil elements who came inside and instigate the people and which turned out to be a massive violence. And yes, the people behind this are DMK. It is evident. So when the governor makes a statement, there are evil forces which are acting against the nation's interest, national interest. And definitely DMK doesn't want this to be out and open. And they don't want people to know about what happened. So they pick and choose certain words of the governor to suit their political narrative. The governor categorically and clearly stated the sequence of events and what are the ways the outside forces which doesn't want India to progress will frame, and they work in tandem. It is a narrative from the governor's point of view, not specifically target towards DMK. Even the governor said, in a democratic nation, it is a right of the people to hold a protest. It is as per the law, and he agrees to the same. The moment he says there are anti-evil elements, anti-social elements acting against the interest of the nation and interest of the business and development, DMK takes a back seat because they are the ones who instigated the people. They are the ones who nurture the anti-social elements as far as Sterlite is concerned. So yes, definitely they will pick and choose to suit their political narrative.
Right. It's a political narrative, says AIA DMK leader Kovai Satyan. Many thanks for joining us there. We were also joined by my colleague Varshini. And well, it's a massive controversy, a huge outcry. The DMK now demanding proof of Governor T.N. Ravi's allegations that he made recently as far as the Sterlite protests in which the DMK were major participants are concerned. The AIA-DMK saying clearly that the people have every right to protest, but it was the unfortunate incidents that followed that are again in the news. Many thanks, Varshini, for joining us, and Mr. Kovai Satyan as well. Let's move on to other top stories that we're tracking. Union Home Minister Amit Shah will visit Uttar Pradesh's Kaushambi today, during which he will address the Dalit Convention as part of the Kaushambi festival. The festival is being organized from today to the 9th of April by MP Vinod Sonkar. According to sources, Amit Shah will attend the inauguration, the conclusion of the sports event and the Dalit Convention today itself. The BJP on Thursday launched a Social Justice Week on the occasion of the party's foundation day to woo the Dalit community ahead of the birth anniversary of Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar on the 14th of April. The ruling party's move comes in the run-up to the 2024 Lok Sabha elections and the upcoming civic body polls in UP, dates of which are likely to be announced soon. Amid a nationwide upward trend in COVID cases, Union Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia will chair a review meet with health ministers of all states and union territories at 11 this morning. According to sources, this was a review meeting to know the COVID situation and preparedness in the country. The Indian SARS-CoV-2 Genomics Consortium in SACOG will also attend. Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai to leave for Delhi from Hubli Airport today. According to sources, he will be a part of the meet where BJP is about to take a decision on candidates to be fielded from 224 assembly constituencies. B.S. Yedurappa, Nalin Kumar Katil, Shobha Karandlaje and Prahlad Joshi will also be a part of the meet. Massive fire reported from godown in New Delhi's Kappa Shera on Thursday. According to the fire department, 16 fire tenders were immediately pressed into service and added that casualties also have been reported. Meanwhile, further cause of the fire is yet to be ascertained. Further details are awaited. JDS leader H.D. Kumarasamy on Thursday says party's second list of candidates for May 10th Karnataka Assembly polls, including for contentious Hassan seat, to be finalized today. Expressed confidence about resolving the Hassan seat issue, stating there are no problems. Congress on Thursday released a second list of 42 candidates for the Karnataka elections, which includes expected names like H.Y. Methi, Baburao Chinchansur, Santosh Lad, Kimmane Ratnakar and others. Having finalized the names for 166 seats, the party has kept 58 constituencies on hold and is likely to announce its third list of candidates today. And Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh Chief Mohan Bhagwat to visit Jaipur today to inaugurate Rashtriya Seva Sangam program organized by the Rashtriya Seva Bharati, a unit of the RSS. According to RSS Rajasthan Region Seva Pramukh, many saints from across the country, including Swami Maheshwaranand Maharaj, will participate in the Sangam. The suspect in the Kerala train attack case, who was nabbed by Maharashtra Anti-Terror Squad from Ratnagiri in Maharashtra, was on Thursday brought to the Armed Reserve Camp Police Station in Kozhikode. According to police officials, the vehicles of the investigation team, Shahrukh Saifi, was being broke down twice on the journey. The arrest was made based on a sketch released by Kerala police on information provided by an eyewitness. Telangana BJP President Bandi Sanjay makes bail on a surety of 20,000 rupees from a magistrate's court in Warangal in the SSC question paper leak case. Bandi Sanjay is the prime accused. He is accused in the case and is accused of conspiracy to copy and leak the SSC question paper. And let's move on now to other news that we are breaking. India is on COVID-19 alert. There's been a nationwide upward trend that has sent alarm bells ringing. A sudden spike in COVID cases in the past few days, especially yesterday. Union Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia will be chairing a review meet with the health ministers of all states and union territories today at 11 a.m. According to sources, this was a review meeting to know the COVID situation and preparedness in the country. The Indian SARS-CoV-2 Genomics Consortium, INSACOG, will also attend the meeting. Harsha, my colleague, joining me on this story. Harsha, what do our viewers need to know at this point? Tell us about the numbers. Tell us about, the kind of precautions that urgently everybody needs to take. What is the urgency even as we speak? Because the cases have suddenly spiked.
Exactly, Rukma. Now it becomes very much important because if we compare with the last year, 2022, we see that this year there is a 27% spike in the COVID cases. Right now, the COVID cases are more than 5,000 in the entire country, which has been reported in the last 24 hours. If we talk about national capital, there are 600 cases, and death has also been reported because of COVID in national capital. And in total, there has been 4 deaths in the country in the span of 1.5 months. So it becomes very serious because this is the sub-variant of Omicron. This is XBB 1.16 variant, which is the mutation is very much higher, because of which the patients have the symptoms of the flu-like symptoms, the COVID-like symptoms. But yes, the minister says that hospitalization is very less in this mutation, but still we need to take precautions. The preparedness have to be checked. The hospitalizations have to be made better for the patients who are arriving and getting admitted with a COVID-like symptom. Therefore, a review meeting by Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia is being done today. Few days ago, we saw that Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired a COVID review meeting, and today, in context, just as a follow-up meeting, Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia will have a meeting via video conferencing with all the health ministers of the state at around 11 a.m., where he will review the preparedness, the hospitalization, what's the current status in each and every state in our country, be it Kerala, be it Maharashtra, be it Karnataka, be it Tamil Nadu, be it Orissa and Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, from where we are seeing very high number of COVID cases. And these are the states where actually attention needs to be put into. So the preparedness, the hospital facilities, are they available, the oxygen concentrators, the manpower, the requirement of doctors and educated facilities, are they available in the hospitals or not? That's the main focus of today's meeting, and therefore Health Minister will be there, Health Secretary will be there, the people from INSA-COG and Entagi will also join this meeting. The meeting will start at 11 a.m. and all eyes are on if any new guidelines will be given to the state or not, if the mask will be made mandatory or not. Because right now, what the release or the circular notification we have seen from Health Ministry, they have given the preparedness and to be extra alert and cautious and to take precaution. But till now, mask mandation has not been told in the notification. So this meeting will tell us more broadly that where mask is to be made mandatory for the states where the cases are spiked and are rising more than 8% on a daily basis. So that will be the agenda of the meeting. Rukma today. Back to you, Rukma.
Right, Harsha. Many thanks. All eyes on that 11 a.m. meeting. Many thanks, Harsha, once again. Let's move on now to as more breaking news coming in from election-bound Karnataka. We believe this regarding incumbent Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai. We hear an FIR has been registered against the Chief Minister. His Chief Minister's political secretary, MP Renukacharya, for violating the Model Code of Conduct. The complaint has been filed by election officer at Bengaluru's High Grounds Police Station. Prajwal, live with us on this, my colleague there on the ground. Prajwal, take our viewers through this breaking development. What is the violation that Mr. Bommai's close aide is accused of?
MP Renukacharya is also the MLA from Honnali Assembly constituency. And in this particular regard, on the 2nd of April in Shivajinagar Assembly constituency, Renukacharya was holding a closed-door convention in a hall where around 250 to 300 people, that is voters from his assembly constituency, had come to meet him, at which point of time he was giving out statements and he was also conducting a speech during which the election commission officials had gone on to raid. The election commission officials have gone to this particular convention center, asked Renukacharya to stop the speech as well because it is not permitted according to the code of conduct. But despite repeated warnings, Renukacharya continued with his speech, at which point of time the junior sub-level officers have informed the returning officer of the Shivajinagar Assembly constituency, who's come there and stated that this should be immediately stopped, and with the help of the cops, this was stopped. And on further investigation, it was found by the election commission officials that he had also prepared a feast, a lunch for all these people who had come in from Honnali constituency. Now, two questions arising over here. Why was he conducting the meeting not in his own constituency but in Bengaluru, which is around 250 to 280 kilometers far away? And secondly, what was the content of the speech as well? Because in the FIR copy which we have gone through, which Republic has accessed, there is no mention of the content of the speech that he has stated, but he's been booked under IPC section 171 and 171E, which means trying to entice people and also giving bribes to them too. So this is something which has come in of Rukma, and we will have to wait in as to what exactly is happening and why was Renukacharya in Bengaluru giving a speech to the voters of Honnali Assembly constituency, and whether there were many more speeches which was conducted by him at what point of time is under investigation now by the election commission officials, and he's also been fined a sum of 10,000 rupees.
Right. Fined a sum of 10,000. Prajwal, thank you very much for bringing us up to speed on that breaking news, even as hectic preparations are on the part of the BJP for the elections that are to take place on the 10th of May. It could be a major setback, but Prajwal will be back with you later for more on this. Many thanks once again. Let's move on now to some international news. The Israeli military launched rockets in the Gaza Strip in the wee hours of Friday, pushing the region towards a wider conflagration. This comes a day after rocket fire along the country's northern and southern borders following 2 days of unrest at Jerusalem's most sensitive holy site. Remember, this is the holiday season, a very holy season in the area.
In a fresh provocation, the Israeli military struck targets in the Gaza Strip, escalating tensions between Israel and Palestine yet again. Following which, Gaza militants fired off a new barrage of rockets, setting off air raid sirens across southern Israel. An Israeli airstrike set off at least 4 loud explosions in Gaza, striking down a pair of tunnels and 2 weapon manufacturing sites. Similar fighting in 2021 led to an 11-day war between Israel and Hamas. The airstrikes come after militants in Lebanon fired a heavy barrage of rockets at Israel early in the day, forcing people across Israel's northern frontier in bomb shelters, wounding at least 2. Agency report for Republic TV.
And now let's take a look at what's making news in the world of sports. Mumbai Indians announced on Thursday that Australian pacer Riley Meredith will replace compatriot Jai Richardson, who has been ruled out of the IPL due to a hamstring injury. The DRS, the decision review system, will not be a part of this year's ICC Men's World Cup qualifier, which will be held in June in Zimbabwe. According to officials, there was no DRS for the 2023 ICC World Cup qualifier playoff held in Namibia. Coinciding with the United Nations International Day of Sport for Development and Peace, International Cricket Council on Thursday revealed the outstanding programs and performances that have been unveiled as the regional winners in the 2022 edition of the ICC Development Awards. The ICC Development Awards were established in 2002 to celebrate the world-leading initiatives and innovative programs delivered by ICC members to grow the game of cricket in emerging nations. ICC has released the shortlisted 3 players for the ICC Women's Player of the Month for March 2023. They include 2 from Papua New Guinea and 1 player from Rwanda. Papua New Guinea's Sibona Jimmy has given an all-round performance for her team with bat and ball to win Pacific Island Women's Cricket Challenge. Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports Mission Olympics Cell in their recent meeting approved proposal to financially assist 12 para-badminton players to participate in the upcoming Brazil Para-Badminton International, which is a level 2 event and part of the Paris Paralympics pathway for the year 2023. Juventus was given a partial stadium ban for its next home game in the Italian Cup after some of its supporters directed racist chants at Inter Milan striker Romelu Lukaku. Lukaku was sanctioned with the 2nd yellow card for provoking Juventus fans by holding his finger to his lips as if to silence the crowd after converting a stoppage time penalty to earn a draw in the first leg of the semi-finals. And time for a short break. On the other side, mired in allegations of an SSC paper leak, Bandi Sanjay, Telangana BJP chief, gets bail. Big BJP versus BRS face-off erupts. Also coming up, showdown over Emmanuel Macron's pension bill continues in France. Protests take a violent turn.
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
the India developmental model is the right model which the world can follow. And that is the opportunity that we have before us.
I believe that you are soaked in the philosophy of nation first.
When we see that the masterminds, the plotters of this attack are still unpunished, they are still roaming free, what can India and Israel do together to ensure that the plotters, the mastermind of this attack are punished?
Everyone that took part of the terror attacks pays the price, a very heavy price. So we are still waiting for those who committed, those who sent, those who operated those terror attacks to be brought to justice. And indeed, we need to bring very serious pressure from all the world, from all the free world who stands against terrorism.
इस देश में बहुत समय के बाद एक ऐसी सरकार आई है जो सरकार टिकाने के लिए नहीं चल रही, देश को सुधारने के लिए सरकार चल रही है।
ये पहला एक बड़ा इवेंट हुआ है जहां पे आप इस पर विस्तृत तौर से
Good morning and welcome. This is live and breaking on Republic TV. And India's biggest news event is back. The third edition of the Republic Summit will be held in the national capital this month. The biggest names, the biggest newsmakers and the biggest agents of change and transformation in India will be at the Republic Summit once again this year. So stand by for what will be by far India's biggest news event by miles. Here's a look at the top headlines at 9:30 this morning. Tamil Nadu's governor makes a huge claim, alleges anti-Sterlite protests are funded by foreign funds. The DMK hits out, questions Tamil Nadu governors, says show proof to prove your claims. In the dock for SSC paper leak case, Bandi Sanjay is granted bail. It's a huge BJP versus BRS face-off. The battle for Karnataka heats up. Baswaraj Bommai and his team are in the national capital. Amidst the spike in COVID-19 cases, the health minister will be chairing a key review meeting today. Showdown over Macron's pension bill continues. Protests take a violent turn. Well, the IMF chief has said that the world economy is expected to grow at less than 3% this year, down from 3.4% last year, increasing the risk of hunger and poverty globally, with India and China expected to account for half of that global growth of 2023. In fact, let's listen in to what she said.
Global growth in 2022 dropped by almost half, from 6.1 to 3.4%. And this slowdown continues this year. Despite surprisingly resilient labor markets and strong consumer demand, despite the uplift in China, we expect the world economy to grow less than 3% this year. And you would see in our World Economic Outlook that is coming next week that growth remains historically weak now and in the medium term. There are significant differences in this growth projections among country groups. We do see some momentum coming from emerging market economies, especially from Asia. This year, India and China are going to deliver half of global growth. But we have quite a number of economies that are facing a very stiff climb. Economic activity is slowing down in 90% of advanced economies in the US, in the euro area, where high interest rates weigh on demand. And we are going to see in low-income countries higher borrowing costs coming at the time of weakening demand for their exports. What does that mean? It means that per capita growth is going to stay below that of emerging economies. That is a severe blow. What it translates into is even harder for these countries to catch up with those that are better off. Poverty and hunger could further increase. This is a dangerous trend that started in the year of COVID.
And in fact, our senior executive editor Abhishek Kapoor also joins us on the phone line right now. Abhishek, the IMF very, very clear in its messaging saying that India and China remain the two bright spots. But overall, after the Ukraine war, the world economy is looking to take longer perhaps to recuperate.
Well, yes, Nupur. So, India and China are doing the heavy lifting, is sort of stating the obvious. There are almost 80 economies globally which are facing highest debt component in their GDP post-recovery in pandemic. There are about 3 dozen economies, including the most in West, which are seeing absolutely inflated, inflation numbers, like absolutely heated inflation numbers. And that actually led to this cycle of increasing rates. Now, the issue is if you have fever, you take paracetamol, but then you have to also decide when to stop. So this anything it takes approach of the U.S. Federal Reserve has put United States and then, of course, the world economy in a situation where you are looking at an impending recession in the U.S. In the next 2 quarters. And the U.S. Federal Reserve is still not stopping the rate hike cycle, which in fact has led to some internal disturbances in the U.S. economy, as we saw in the bank's crisis. That's really panning out. India remained ahead of the curve in the increasing rate cycle, and of course now in the stopping rate cycle, we saw how the RBI yesterday only stopped increasing rates. So I think in that sense, it seems when it comes to basics of economics, we are doing better, and that's why perhaps it's getting reflected in better numbers as well. And the IMF acknowledging that India and China essentially would be doing the heavy lifting insofar as global economy is concerned. I was just showing through some numbers, and there's something called Powell's curve, which is about which measures which is the index of the bond market, and it's plunged new lows, clearly suggesting that in the United States and Europe, we are looking at the possibility of a recession or a full-blown recession over the next 2 quarters itself. And then we have these OPEC cuts, and which is going to give another spike and possibly lead to a fuel crisis. So I think strong headwinds there for the global economy, with India obviously being an oasis, essentially because the economy was shepherded well between the RBI, which took care of the interest rate cycle, and then, of course, the Raisina, the North Bloc, the Finance Ministry, which by shepherding off the manufacturing sector through PLI schemes or with a major push coming in on the capital expenditure front, I think took care of the economy. And that's why I think the world also acknowledging that it's India and China that would be doing the heavy lifting.
All right, Abhishek Kapoor, thank you for joining us. So that's the latest statement that has come in from the IMF, which essentially says that India and China remain the two bright spots. However, the world economy will take longer to come out of COVID, given the fact that the war in Ukraine is raging on and is affecting energy needs globally. Now, Tamil Nadu's Governor R.N. Ravi has sparked a fresh controversy, saying that the 2018 anti-Sterlite protest in Thoothukudi were foreign funded. Now, the governor said that the Sterlite protest was purely foreign funded and that entire activities which led to the protest and the unfortunate police firing that cost innocent lives was funded by people sitting abroad. His remarks drew sharp reactions from the ruling DMK and the protesters who vowed to stage a stir against the governor.
Today, the foreign elements are not in a position to take on India directly. So our vulnerability is within. Create issues, create disharmony, create a situation which just stops the progress. Create tensions, create riots. Now take the case of Sterlite. There's in Thoothukudi. It was a purely foreign funded entire activities which led to the protest, unfortunate police firing, and that cost innocent lives. That is a very sad part of it. But they wanted this Sterlite to be closed because that Sterlite produced 40% of our copper need. And you know how copper is important for electronic industry. They closed it.
Well, going on to the big story that we are tracking right now, we are expecting Bandi Sanjay, the Telangana BJP chief, to be released shortly. In fact, he has been released already from the Karimnagar jail. Do remember that Bandi Sanjay was granted bail in the SSC question paper leak case Thursday on a condition of 20,000 rupees in terms of surety from magistrate court in Warangal. The court had set the condition that Bandi Sanjay should not leave the country and should cooperate with the investigation and not threaten any witnesses. He has been named as a prime accused over the leak of the secondary school exam papers. According to police, Bandi Sanjay conspired with other accused with an intention to create rumors and provoke breach of peace of the ongoing SSC public examinations after images of two question papers surfaced on social media to defame the government. Now, Bandi Sanjay's arrest, of course, the BJP says is directly related to the Prime Minister's visit to Hyderabad. Do remember that he's going to be in Telangana tomorrow. He will be inaugurating a Vande Bharat Express train. And the BJP, of course, has said that there's a direct political witch hunt as far as Bandi Sanjay is concerned. Now, day before night, in dramatic arrest that took place, Bandi Sanjay was questioned by the police and taken into custody. He was first denied bail and sent to 14 days of judicial custody. Thereafter, of course, another court in Warangal granted him bail. Right now, of course, Bandi Sanjay has been released from jail, and Aneri has all the details on this. Let's go across to her. Aneri, give us a sense of what's happening at the site where his release is taking place. Now, also, obviously, you know, these were anxious moments for BJP cadres in Telangana, given the fact that the Prime Minister will be there tomorrow.
Well, that's right, Nupur. We have been seeing how there were a series of events which has been taking place since last few days, where Bandi Sanjay, who was arrested late night by the police officials in connection with the SSC paper leak, later after which we see that he was shifted to Warangal in Hanamkonda and produced before the magistrate. Later, he was also sent to 14 days of judicial custody. However, after the BJP council had filed a bail petition, we see that now now he has been released from Karimnagar jail after there was a prolonged argument which had taken place in Hanamkonda court yesterday. After almost 8 hours of arguments which had taken place, we see that Bandi Sanjay is now granted bail from the court with a few conditions. But however, now Bandi Sanjay has been released from Karimnagar jail, and he is expected to arrive in Hyderabad. But when we talk about Bandi Sanjay and Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit, yes, BJP has been questioning the timing of the arrest of Bandi Sanjay, because they say that the BRS government here is rattled with the growth of the BJP, and also this comes ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit, and that is why the BRS government is doing all of such things. But however, tomorrow, that is on 8th of April, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be visiting Hyderabad. He will be inaugurating various programs, and also he will be inaugurating the Vande Bharat train. So now we'll have to wait and watch how, because Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also be addressing a public meeting in Hyderabad. So massive arrangements being put in place for that as well. And now, ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit, Bandi Sanjay has been granted bail, and he's asked to cooperate with the investigation, and he's also asked not to leave the country with a surety of 220,000 also has been asked by the Hanamkonda court. So now we'll have to wait and watch how the further developments take place, because tomorrow is big day for BJP as well, because Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be here inaugurating Vande Bharat train, and also he will be addressing a public meeting. So definitely the face-off between the BJP and the BRS escalates time and again over the paper leak issue. But as of now, when we talk right now, Bandi Sanjay has been released from Karimnagar jail after he was granted bail from the Hanamkonda court. And also at the same time, Nupur, the BJP council had also filed an quash petition in the High Court. So that will be coming up on Monday. Because the matter is now posted for Monday. So quash petition against the remand copy will be heard on Monday. But however, now we are seeing that Bandi Sanjay is released from jail, Karimnagar jail, and in some time from now, he will be also arriving at Hyderabad party office.
All right. So as Neri is pointing out, of course, this is something that is likely essentially to escalate in terms of the tensions between the BRS and the BJP. Now, Aneri, what are you hearing in terms of what is the next course of action for the BJP? Of course, on the one side, Bandi Sanjay will have to face the legal consequences of what he's been accused of. But on the other side, is this likely essentially to increase tensions between the BRS and the BJP in the state of Telangana, which already have been at a high?
That's right, Nupur, because let me remind you, there are state assembly elections which will be happening this year. And one of the main reasons we are seeing such high political drama unfolding here in the state of Telangana, let it be from the TSPSC paper leak issue to the SSC paper leak issue, which has been going on since last many days here. Opposition parties, including the BJP, Congress and YSRTP, other parties also have been demanding that there should be a CBI probe into this matter, but into the TSPSC paper leak issue. However, after which we saw that there was a paper leak of SSC examination, and now we are seeing that two times both the first and second paper of SSC exam were leaked, and now we are seeing that Bandi Sanjay, who was arrested in the second exam paper leak, he was mentioned as accused number 1 in whole of this case. However, we are seeing that after all of the after the arrest of Bandi Sanjay, and now we are seeing that how Bandi Sanjay's legal team had moved a bail petition. There was a quash petition also which was filed in the High Court. So now Bandi Sanjay has been granted bail with few of the conditions, like he cannot move or travel out of the country, and he has to also cooperate with the investigation as and when. However, we are seeing that right now, after he's got bail, he is released from Karimnagar jail. But as you rightly pointed out, there has been high political face-off which has been going on between the BJP and the BRS here in the state of Telangana. Let it be in connection with any of the issues, because BJP is in the opposition, and also at the same time, BJP has been time and again questioning the state government over various issues. And also, when we talk about the BRS questions the central government over not fulfilling the promises which are given by the center to the state of Telangana. They haven't given any sort of schemes or any sort of institutions, and other such issues are being picked up by the BRS government, and they have been hitting out at the central government. But we see that the face-off between the BJP and the BRS escalates, but this will have to wait for further developments into this matter, because we are seeing that this year end there will be state assembly elections, and so how this goes on also remains to be seen.
All right, Aneri, of course, bringing us all the details from Hyderabad on this. Thank you for the moment for joining us. So as Aneri has been taking us through the latest developments, we are now learning that Bandi Sanjay has been released from prison. Now, tensions continue to simmer in the Sudanese capital of Khartoum as hundreds of protesters took to the streets against military coup in the country. Here's more.
Hundreds of protesters took to the streets of Sudan's capital as talks with the country's military rulers to bring in civilian government hits a roadblock. Watch how the security forces met the demonstrations in Khartoum with the tear gas and stun grenades. Protesters have rejected any settlement involving Sudan's military leaders following the 2021 coup. The protest comes a day after the scheduled inking of final settlement between the military and the pro-democracy forces was postponed for the second time. The military and a number of pro-democracy groups have pledged last December to usher back in transitional civilian government. But with the talks stalled, tensions continue to run in the Sudanese capital, Khartoum. Agency report, Republic TV.
And coming up next, Battle for Karnataka heats up. Bomai and team are in the national capital today. And amid spike in COVID-19 cases, the health minister will be chairing a key review meeting.
आप सभी देश के जन जन तक सही सूचनाएं पहुंचाने में अहम भूमिका निभा रहे हैं। जब नेशन फर्स्ट होता है तब हमारे संकल्प भी बड़े होते हैं और उनको सिद्ध करने के प्रयास भी व्यापक होते हैं।
प्रधानमंत्री जी, हमने भी ठान लिया है हमारा रिपब्लिक मीडिया नेटवर्क भी अपने कदम और भी तेज करेगा।
How do you see Israel helping India in combating the water crisis?
It's a major problem here in India and we have the solutions. So we are trying to work together, bringing the information, bring the technologies, bringing the excellent centers that we have here in India. And I know Prime Minister Modi deals with that a lot, and he was successful to bring dozens and dozens of millions to accessibility to water. And this is a great success. And I would like us to work more closely on that.
In regard with the paper leak issue, we have been seeing how there has been two different FIRs, one being in the Karimnagar jurisdiction and the another FIR which was filed is under Warangal jurisdiction. The legal cell of Bharatiya Janata Party and the Bandi Sanjay's team says that the manner in which Bandi Sanjay was arrested was not right, and that is a violation of the Supreme Court guidelines. On that lines, there was a quash petition which was filed in the High Court, and there's a bail petition which is filed in Warangal Court. So we'll have to wait and watch for further developments.
Well, the jailed former Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, Manish Sisodia, has written to the Prime Minister raising questions on his education. The letter that is addressed to the Prime Minister talks about his education, and in that letter we understand that Manish Sisodia has said that for the progress of India it is necessary to have an educated Prime Minister. Now do remember that this comes at the back of these protests that we have seen, or rather posters that we have seen go up across the national capital as well as other state capitals, where the Aam Aadmi Party has questioned the educational qualifications of the Prime Minister. Posters of of the Prime Minister's educational qualifications, in fact, had gone up in the national capital, right outside the Aam Aadmi Party's office. Now, the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP, of course, are located right across each other. So those pictures, those posters went up there. Thereafter, they were taken down. But one of the attacks of the Aam Aadmi Party on the BJP has been over the Prime Minister's educational qualifications. The Aam Aadmi Party says that his degree is bogus and that he needs to answer questions that are being raised. Now, Manish Sisodia, we are told, has written to the Prime Minister again, and in that letter, of course, he has said that for the progress of India, it is necessary to have an educated Prime Minister. Now, while some opposition parties, of course, had joined this sort of questioning that has been done by the Aam Aadmi Party, there were others who felt that the Prime Minister, had led the country for close to 10 years, and this sort of unnecessary scandal is something that is in fact very juvenile, because of the fact that nobody in the world in a democracy asks essentially for educational qualifications. Let's go across to Himakshi. Himakshi, give us more details of what he said. We are told that he wrote a letter to the Prime Minister. If you have those, the pictures of that letter, just take us through it.
Yes, we have learned that Manish Sisodia has written a letter for PM Modi, and he has written in Hindi, and I'm reading the letter. आज हम 21वीं सदी में जी रहे हैं. दुनिया भर में विज्ञान और टेक्नोलॉजी में हर रोज़ नई तरक्की हो रही है. सारी दुनिया आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस की बात कर रही है. ऐसे में जब प्रधानमंत्री जी को ये कहते हुए सुनते हैं कि गंदे नाले में पाइप डालकर उसकी गंदी गैस से चाय या खाना बनाया जा सकता है, तो मेरा दिल बैठ जाता है. एंड क्या नाली की गंदी गैस से चाय या खाना बनाया जा सकता है? नहीं. जब प्रधानमंत्री जी कहते हैं कि बादलों के पीछे उड़ते जहाज को रेडार नहीं पकड़ सकता है, तो पूरी दुनिया के लोगों में वो हास्य के पात्र बनते हैं. स्कूलों और कॉलेजों में पढ़ने वाले बच्चे उनका मजाक बनाते हैं. उनके इस तरीके के बयान देश के लिए बेहद खतरनाक हैं. इसके कई नुकसान हैं, जैसे कि पूरी दुनिया को पता चल जाता है कि भारत के प्रधानमंत्री कितने कम पढ़े लिखे हैं और उन्हें विज्ञान की बुनियादी जानकारी तक नहीं है. दूसरे देशों के अध्यक्ष जब प्रधानमंत्री जी से गले मिलते हैं तो basically he is questioning the PM's education qualification, and he's saying he's raising serious questions against his education qualification.
All right, so Himakshi, of course, was taking us through the contents of this letter that have been written by Manish Sisodia. Manish Sisodia over there writing to the Prime Minister. We just showed you the contents of that letter, essentially questioning his educational policies and also questioning some of the comments that he has made in the past. Himakshi joining us from Mumbai's Newspit. Thank you. And coming up next, the battle for Karnataka is heating up. Baswaraj Bommai and his team are in the national capital today. And amidst a spike in COVID-19 cases, the health minister will be chairing a key review meeting.
When we see that the masterminds, the plotters of this attack are still unpunished, they are still roaming free, what can India and Israel do together to ensure that the plotters, the mastermind of this attack are punished?
Everyone that took part of the terror attacks pays the price, a very heavy price. So we are still waiting for those who committed, those who sent, those who operated those terror attacks to be brought to justice. And indeed, we need to bring very serious pressure from all the world, from all the free world who stands against terrorism.
इस देश में बहुत समय के बाद एक ऐसी सरकार आई है जो सरकार टिकाने के लिए नहीं चल रही, देश को सुधारने के लिए सरकार चल रही है।
ये पहला एक बड़ा इवेंट हुआ है जहां पे आप इस पर विस्तृत तौर से इन डिटेल आप बात करेंगे, तो लेट अस एड्रेस ऑल इश्यूज।
Mediation will work when there is uncertainty of winning by any one party. इसलिए जो judgment आया यही सबसे उत्तम है. This puts an end to the whole issue.
Assertive 1% that wants to open the wounds again. They do not operate only by the verdict of the court. Dragging back economic fugitives, fantastic. But a crackdown on corruption alone is not enough to steer the economy.
That is where the reforms are not just to remove those who are with several cases of corruption and disproportionate assets. This will ensure that at a local level, no officer can go about saying, hey, I've come to inspect you without the system approving it.
आप सभी देश के जन जन तक सही सूचनाएं पहुंचाने में अहम भूमिका निभा रहे हैं। जब नेशन फर्स्ट होता है तब हमारे संकल्प भी बड़े होते हैं और उनको सिद्ध करने के प्रयास भी व्यापक होते हैं।
प्रधानमंत्री जी, हमने भी ठान लिया है, हमारा रिपब्लिक मीडिया नेटवर्क भी अपने कदम और भी तेज करेगा।
Ladies and gentlemen, India's biggest news event is back. The third edition of Republic Summit will be held in the national capital this month. The biggest names, the biggest newsmakers, the biggest agents of change and transformation in India will be on Republic Summit once again this year. So stand by for that. Will be by far India's biggest news event by miles. We begin first with the top headlines at 10 a.m.
It was a purely foreign funded entire activities which led to the protest, unfortunate police firing.
Tamil Nadu governor makes a big claim, alleges anti-Sterlite protests funded by foreign hands. DMK hits out, questions Tamil Nadu governor, says show proof to prove claims. In dock for SSC paper leak, Bandi Sanjay gets bail, walks out of jail. Big BJP versus BRS face-off now erupts. Battle for Karnataka heats up. Bommai and team in the national capital today. Amid spike in COVID-19 cases, Health Minister to chair key review meet shortly. Showdown over Macron's pension bill that continues. Protests take a violent turn in France. And we begin first with the latest that we are getting on Bandi Sanjay case. The Telangana BJP chief has now been released from the Karimnagar jail in the state of Telangana. Remember, he's been granted granted conditional bail by the court on Thursday.
ముఖ్యమంత్రి కుటుంబం మీరు కుట్రదారులు ప్రమాణం చేయండి మీకు దమ్ముంటే మీ నిజాయితీ పట్ల సిట్టింగ్ చేస్తూ విచారణ జరపండి ఆ సిపి ఏం మాట్లాడారు ఆయనకేదలేదు
If Chief Minister and his son, that is KTR, if they have guts, then why don't you come take a promise, take a pledge on the SSC paper leak issue?
వాటర్ క్యాన్ తీసి కొట్టిరండి కింద వాటర్ క్యాన్ అంగడంగా తీసారని ఇట్లా ఇది ఏమంటారంటే రాష్ట్ర అధ్యక్షుడు ఒక పార్లమెంట్ సభ్యుడు చేస్తే కార్యకర్తలు భయపడటం కాదు మా కార్యకర్తలకు పార్టీ కోసం సిద్ధాంతం కోసం ప్రాణత్యాగం
we will work for the party, we will work for the people.
కొంతమందేమో ఆ డ్యూటీలో నక్సలైట్ ఎదిరించి టెర్రరిస్ట్ ఎదిరించి ప్రాణత్యాగం చేసిన అమరులు మర్చిపోయారు వాళ్ళు పాపం మేము గుర్తుంచుకుంటాం అమరవీరులను.
They have forgotten. New policemen have forgotten their duties, but we will work for the people. We will work for the party.
మాకు మా కార్యకర్తలు మా బలిదానమైన మా కార్యకర్తల స్ఫూర్తి మాకు. మేము జెండా కోసం పనిచేస్తాం, కాశ్యప్ జెండా కోసం పనిచేస్తాం, కమలపు వికాసం కోసం పనిచేస్తాం, సిద్ధాంతం కోసం పనిచేస్తాం.
We work for the party. We work for the flag of the nation. We work for the development of the state and also for the party's development.
అది అద్భుత సన్నివేశాన్ని ఇప్పుడు ఈ రాచరిక పాలన అందిస్తున్నటువంటి ఈ కుటుంబానికి వాళ్ళ కొమ్ము కాస్తున్న కొంతమంది పోలీసులు చూపారు. సిగ్గుంది ఆడవాళ్ళకన్నా. సింగరేణిలో 51% share ఎవరిది? What ఎవరిది?
The Singaneri colonies where KTR has called for a protest now, Bandi Sanjay says that the 51% share, who has the 51% share in the Singaneri colonies?
రాష్ట్ర ప్రభుత్వం చేయాలి. కానీ కేంద్రం ప్రైవేటీకరణ.
State government has to work on it.
వాళ్ళు కేంద్రం పేరు చెప్పి ప్రైవేటీకరణ చేసే ప్రయత్నం చేస్తున్నారు. 51% వాటా ఉన్నోడు కాదని 49% వాటా ఉన్నోడు ప్రైవేటీకరణ చేయొచ్చా? ప్రియతమ దేశ ప్రజానే ఇదే రామగుండం మీటింగ్ వచ్చి క్లారిటీ ఇచ్చేసిండు. కేసీఆర్ లెక్క అబద్ధమాడే వ్యక్తి మోడీ గారు కాదు. 51%
It's not Prime Minister who talks anything, but it's the state government leaders.
ప్రయత్నం చేస్తున్నది. ఆ కుట్రలను భారతీయ జనతా పార్టీ బద్దలు కొడుతుంది. కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వం ఎట్టి బస్సులో రాష్ట్ర ప్రభుత్వం ఏదో కుట్రలతో సింగరేణి ప్రైవేటీకరణ చేసే ప్రయత్నం చేస్తున్నది. దాన్ని ఎట్టి బస్సు అడ్డుకుంటాం. సింగరేణి నుంచి తీసుకున్న పైసలు ఫస్ట్ కట్టు. సింగరేణి కార్మికులు పట్టించుకో.
First you have to do the payments of Singaneri colonies, which is not yet done.
కూర్చోసుకుంటా ఊరికేస్తున్నాయి. కూర్చోసుకుంటాను ఏడవే. సింగరేణి అనేది ఈ ప్రభుత్వానికి బీఆర్ఎస్ పార్టీకి ఒక ఏటీఎం లెక్క మారింది. సింగరేణి పైసలు మొత్తం దోచుకుంటూ కేసీఆర్ కుటుంబం. దాని మీద ఫస్ట్ మాట్లాడు. రేపు మోడీ గారు వస్తుందని చెప్పి మళ్ళీ ఏదో ఎన్నిక దృష్టి పెట్టుకుని మళ్ళా సింగరేణి కార్మికులు అందరూ తెలుసు. వాస్తవ విషయం తెలుసు. వాళ్ళకి జరుగుతున్న అన్యాయం వాళ్ళకి తెలుసు. ఈ రాష్ట్ర ప్రభుత్వం కేసీఆర్ కుటుంబం చేస్తున్న కుట్ర చేస్తున్న బిడ్డ వచ్చింది. ఇప్పుడు కొడుకుపోతాడు. పోయినసారి బిడ్డ వచ్చింది.
Everyone knows what the state government is doing, what the daughter of CM KCR and what the son of CM KCR are doing.
అంటే సంవత్సరం ఒకసారి వీళ్ళు వాటర్లు పంచుకుంటారండి. కేసీఆర్ కుటుంబం సింగరేణి విషయంలో బిడ్డ పోయి అల్లుడు వచ్చాయి, కొడుకు వచ్చాయి, కొడుకు పోయి అల్లుడు వస్తారు. రేపు సింగరేణి కేసీఆర్ కుటుంబం ఏటీఎం లెక్క మారింది. దాన్ని ఎట్టిపట్టు అడ్డుకుంటాం కూడా దాన్ని.
Coming in from Bandi Sanjay, the Telangana BJP chief, after he was granted conditional bail by the court on Thursday. Remember, he's been asked to seek a permission before he decides to leave the country. He was granted that bail after he gave that surety bond of 20,000 rupees as well. Let's go across to Aneri, if she's live with us. Aneri, if you can take us through what exactly did Bandi Sanjay say after being released from the Karimnagar jail and the kind of defense being given by him in the SSC leak allegations being made against.
Well, that's right, Samisha. We have been seeing that after almost 8 hours of argument which went on in the Hanamkonda court yesterday, we see that Bandi Sanjay was granted bail with few of the conditions, such as he cannot leave the country, he has to cooperate with the investigation into the SSC paper leak road, and also he had to give a surety bond of 20,000 rupees. But after all of this, we see that Bandi Sanjay is now released from the Karimnagar jail, and also at the same time, after he came out, he spoke to the media, where also once again he is all trading guns on the ruling government here in the state of Telangana over this SSC paper leak issue, where he points out that why, if it is so, then why don't the state government take a proper initiative, proper action? And also at the same time, Samiksha, not to forget the TSPSC paper leak issue, which also was going on in the state, after which we saw that there was a massive war of words between the BJP BRS, because even KT Rama Rao had also hit it out at the BJP state president Bandi Sanjay back then, and also there was an SIT team which was set up for the investigation into the TSPSC paper leak road. And now we see that all of this, after coming out of jail, Bandi Sanjay further went on to state that all of this is a conspiracy by the state government. If it is so, then why don't they come up with a proper investigation into all of this matter? So definitely the face-off between the BJP and the BRS has been escalating time and again, let it be over any sort of issue. But now when we talk about the paper leak issue, the opposition parties have now been demanding that there should be a probe, a thorough probe into this matter. And now we also see that Bandi Sanjay, who is granted bail, this comes just ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit tomorrow to Telangana, where Prime Minister will be inaugurating Vande Bharat train and other foundation works will be laid by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, where he will also be addressing a public meeting here in Hyderabad. So definitely this has been one big important development when we talk about Bandi Sanjay's arrest in the last few days, how things have been transpiring from the time Bandi Sanjay was arrested. Later he was produced before the magistrate in Hanamkonda, and he was sent to 14 days of judicial custody. However, now he is granted bail.
Also, Aneri, tell us what exactly can we expect on Monday, because we understand that the matter would come up in the Telangana court on Monday as well in this case against Bandi Sanjay.
That's right, Amit Shah. As the BJP council had filed two different applications, two different petitions, one in Hanamkonda court, that was the bail petition, which Bandi Sanjay has already got bail, and another petition which was filed in the Telangana High Court by the BJP council was the quash petition against the remand copy. Because remember, Amit Shah, Bandi Sanjay, the BJP state president, is named as accused number 1 in the SSC paper leak road. He is one of the main accused, and he is said to be the conspirator over all of this SSC paper leak, and that is why now the BJP council has also filed an quash petition in the High Court, which will be heard on Monday. So that also will be very important because as Bandi Sanjay is accused number 1 into this matter, how things will transpire also remains to be seen, because yesterday when there was a hearing for the quash petition, the High Court had also sent notices, and also at the same time we see that on the other hand, there was a bail petition which was filed in Hanamkonda court, and after almost 8 hours of long arguments, Bandi Sanjay was granted bail. But yes, on Monday, we'll have to wait for the quash petition hearing, which would be taking place around 3:30 p.m. is what we are being told on Monday. So quash petition against the remand copy will be heard on Monday in the Telangana High Court.
Aneri, just stay with us, and once again for our viewers also, if you can talk to us about the political blame game that has erupted over Bandi Sanjay's arrest, like you were mentioning earlier, with the BJP saying that this is an unlawful arrest of Bandi Sanjay which happened on Wednesday.
Well, Samiksha, we have been seeing that how BJP state president Bandi Sanjay, who was in Karimnagar at his residence, was arrested by the police officials, where he had also questioned the officials in regard with the warrant. Where is the warrant? However, the police officials had told that it's a preventive custody, and from Karimnagar he was all the way brought to Warangal. He spent whole night in the police station, after which later on Wednesday evening he was produced before the magistrate. As being a holiday, he was produced at the magistrate's residence, and thereafter he was mentioned as accused number 1 in the remand copy of the SSC paper leak issue, because there are two different FIRs.
Aneri, just requesting you to hold your thoughts for a moment. We have Rachna Reddy of the BJP joining us. Rachna Reddy, the question I wanted to ask you about is, what do you have to say about the manner in which Bandi Sanjay was arrested on Wednesday? We saw those visuals in which he was not even given an answer, an explanation as to on what grounds was he exactly picked up from his residence by the Telangana police.
Yes. Yes. Hello, ma'am. So here is the thing, where yesterday, after a long, arduous bail hearing, which went on for around 8 hours, all of these aspects were discussed. The first aspect was that the basic prerequisite, that is a 41A notice, which was absolutely supposed to have been issued to him, and his explanation sought was not given at all, and he was illegally, I would use the word kidnapped. He was illegally kidnapped arrested and detained. And this went on for a good 12 to 13 hours. And when the Bharatiya Janata Party moved a habeas corpus petition in the Honorable High Court, that is when a shady FIR was filed and a remand report that is absolutely ridiculous in the sense sections used were criminal trespass, cheating, under the Malpractices Act, etc. And none of these provisions, any averment was made as to Shri Bandi Sanjay's involvement. He was forcefully implicated under the instructions of the state government as A1.
Yes.
Without absolutely
Rachna, just requesting you to hold your thought for a moment. Let's take a word from the BRS leader, Ravala Sridhar Reddy, also joining us. Mr. Reddy, I want to know, would you justify the kind of arrest of Bandi Sanjay that happened? Because we saw those visuals, we saw what he had to say when he was picked up from his residence. He was not even given an explanation as to on what grounds he was being arrested, being detained by the Telangana police from his residence.
The Telangana police has followed the due procedure. He was taken into a preventive custody first. Then the Warangal police arrested him. They established the facts. They have presented him before the court. Court has sent him to remand. Then they applied for a bail. The bail has been given. And BJP leaders should understand that this is not an acquittal. It's only a bail. And we as BRS party, we respect the judiciary. We respect the law of the land. As the normal rule, the bail is the rule and bail is an exception, which is exactly opposite to BJP in the center. But it is not there. It is not an acquittal, and BJP today is thinking that a conspirator is released, as a freedom fighter is released. They can stoop to any law. A conspiracy has to leak out the paper, putting the 5 lakh SSC students' life at stake. And this is the way they work. They have shown the world. They can go to any law. They can stoop down to any law for achieving their political goals. And if this is the way, and they are celebrating the release of a conspirator, an A1, who is booked on a 120D, a conspirator.
But Mr. Reddy, do you think a person does not deserve an answer even if he's being detained? Does he not deserve an answer, an explanation? Why is he being picked up from his house at an odd hour?
We are not like union government. Definitely, the police has given him enough explanation. I think he was given 151 CRPC. They have taken him preventive custody because while he was traveling from Hyderabad to Karimnagar, also there was a tense situation in between. Few irritated students, parents, and they tried to either stop him, to protest him. The police has taken him into preventive custody. Later on the subsequent developments, he was arrested based on the allegations as well the prima facie facts by the police. You want police not to act on them? You want? I think BJP has a separate IPC in this country.
Okay, Mr. Reddy, stay with us. Let's take your same point across to Rachna, also of the BJP, who continues to be with us. Rachna, Mr. Reddy of the BRS says that all due procedures were followed while Bandi Sanjay was being detained, and that there is strong evidence against him in connection with the SSC paper leak case.
Absolutely not. Mr. Rahul Sridhar Reddy has absolutely no legal expertise or knowledge, and neither is he capable to even take any stand on this. There was an absolute violation of Arnesh Kumar. The Supreme Court heavily came down on all of these aspects. It is in contempt of Arnesh Kumar guidelines. He was merely picked up and kidnapped, and 151 CRPC is an afterthought. That was not even included until a habeas corpus petition on the kidnap was moved. And the A1 was forcefully, the state government under the aegis of the BRS party, that is creating hell in Telangana, that has absolutely no respect for due process of the law, the court system, and the due procedures of arrest, etc., who have deliberately, vindictively arrested and detained Bandi Sanjay ji and forcefully forced the law enforcement to implicate him as A1. Even the Honorable High Court yesterday, ma'am, when the remand was questioned, even the Honorable High Court came down heavily on the state government and the Advocate General, asking as to what is the exact allegation or averment against A1. Because the paper was leaked to the BRS minister and MLA.
Yes.
BRS
Rachna, just stay with us, taking that same point quickly across to Mr. Reddy. Also, Mr. Reddy, for the lack of time, if you can quickly tell us the kind of evidence that the police really has against Bandi Sanjay when the case comes up in the court on Monday.
Rachna is saying I am not a legal expert. Yes, I am not a legal expert. I am a common man, but I have common sense that I should not protect criminals. I should not support criminal acts. I should not put the lives of students at stake. I have a common sense. I'm in public.
But
life
Mr.
for a long
Reddy, are we
time.
calling Bandi Sanjay a criminal here even before he's been proven guilty? Are you calling him a criminal even before he's been proven guilty by the court?
It's a criminal act. I said it's a criminal act. The police booked him under a criminal conspiracy. And what do you want me to say? They say before even the trial is completed, they say police have done wrong. Telangana government implicated him. They can go to conclusions. They are jumping guns. I am not saying that. I said the police has booked a case, it has to be tried. And today they are, talking as if he's a freedom fighter. They say a person who has the conspiracy, to spoil the lives of 10th class SSC students, 5 lakh students. Why are you not talking about them? Can you go to any level to achieve your political goals? How it can be a conspiracy? Why the 10th paper is not checked yesterday? Why only on the other 2 days? Because they were doing it. The moment we have acted, yesterday it was arrested. And they were doing for a long time. These conspiracies for political achievements, everything, whatever we do, their ultimate motive is to get power in Telangana, for which they are, this kind of political witch hunting on our leaders, doing, mass propaganda. Doing this kind of conspiracies become a regular act of BJP today. And at the same time, from central government side, they don't support the government. They stop our funds. They don't honor any of the promises.
All right, Mr. Ravula, I think we are deviating from the matter at hand here, but appreciate you speaking to us. So, Rachna Reddy of the BJP and Ravula Sridhar Reddy of the BRS speaking to Republic. Ravula Sridhar Reddy maintaining that there is a strong evidence that the police has against Bandi Sanjay. Remember, the matter is all set to be heard by the court on Monday. But for now, the update that's just coming in, Bandi Sanjay having been released from the Karimnagar jail of Telangana. So we continue to track all the latest from Telangana with the state BJP chief now having been released from the Karimnagar jail. Remember, the matter is all set to be heard by the court on Monday. For now, a quick roundup of all that's making news from across the country. Union Home Minister Amit Shah is all set to visit Uttar Pradesh's Kaushambi today, during which the Home Minister will address the Dalit Convention as part of Kaushambi Festival. The Kaushambi Festival, remember, is being organized from the 7th, which is today, till the 9th by MP Vinod Sonkar. According to sources, Amit Shah will also attend the inauguration of the festival, the conclusion of sports events and the Dalit Convention today itself. The BJP has launched a Social Justice Week starting today on the occasion of party's Foundation Day to woo the Dalit community ahead of the birth anniversary of Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar. On 14th of April, the ruling party's move comes in the run-up to the 2024 Lok Sabha polls. Amid a nationwide uptrend in COVID-19 cases, Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia is all set to review COVID situation in the country. Karnataka Chief Minister Bommai is going to be in Delhi and hold talks with the top brass in the BJP. According to sources, Bommai will be part of the meet where BJP is about to take a decision on candidates to be fielded for the upcoming polls in Karnataka. Meanwhile, in news from the national capital, where a massive fire broke out in a godown in Delhi's Kapashera area. According to the fire department officials, 16 fire tenders were immediately pressed into service and added that no casualties have been reported so far. JDS leader H.D. Kumaraswamy has said that the party's second list of candidates for the 10th of May state elections would be finalized today itself, expressing confidence about resolving the Hassan seat issue, stating that there are no problems within the party. The Congress, meanwhile, released its second list of 42 candidates, which includes expected names. In this second list, having finalized names for 166 seats, the party has kept 58 constituencies on hold and will announce its third list of candidates today. Meanwhile, RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat will visit Jaipur today to inaugurate the Rashtriya Seva Sangram, a program organized by Rashtriya Seva Bharati, which is a unit of the RSS. A suspect in the Kerala train attack case who was nabbed from by the Maharashtra's anti-terrorism squad from Ratnagiri will be produced before the court today, according to police officials. The vehicles of the investigation team in which Shahrukh Saifi, the accused, was being brought, broke down twice on the journey. And we continue to track all the latest on the COVID situation in the country. Remember, Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia is all set to hold a review meet in just a short while from now. But the latest update that is just coming in on the sharp uptick in cases that we are seeing across the country, with more than 6,000 cases that have been reported in last 24 hours itself. So a sharp uptick in COVID-19 cases being seen across the country, particularly in Maharashtra and the national capital. And in wake of the rising cases, the Union Health Minister would be holding a review meet in just a while from now. So that's the latest, of course, coming in. In fact, we're given to understand that this meet would be chaired by the Union Health Minister with the state health ministers and the union territories at 11 a.m. today. So roughly in about half an hour from now, the Union Health Minister would be taking stock of the COVID situation in all these states. And let's go across to Harsha as well, who's there in the national capital tracking that review meet very closely. Harsha, in a while from now, the Union Health Minister would be taking stock of the situation. But tell us any measures that we can expect in the coming days to prevent the rising cases in the country?
Right now, Samiksha, what Health Ministry is literally watching very closely is that what's the situation in the states where there's a COVID spike. Like if we talk about Kerala, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Orissa, Uttar Pradesh, these are the states where there's a spike in COVID cases. Right now, there are more than 6,095 cases all over the country in the span of 24 hours. 4 deaths have been reported in the country till now. There's one death which has been reported from national capital, and there are more than 600 cases in national capital itself. So right now, what Health Ministry is closely monitoring is that what's the preparedness, the adequate hospital facilities, the number of vaccines, are they available or not, and what's the situation of comorbid patients, because right now what we are seeing is that hospitalization is not much. If we compare as the last year, then this variant is mutating very fast, but the hospitalization is very low, what the Health Ministry sources are telling us. But yes, Health Ministry, what they are stating is that we are prepared for all the further thing if happens. If the COVID cases rise, then we are already prepared regarding the hospital, regarding the vaccine, regarding the manpower, regarding the oxygen concentrator and oxygen cylinders. So today there's a review meeting which will be chaired by Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia. MOS Bharti Pawar will be there. The team of INSA, COG and Entagi will also be there, along with the state health ministers, because what we are watching from past 2 weeks is that the health ministers of Chandigarh, health ministers from Punjab, health ministers from Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh and Haryana as well have done a review meeting in their own specific states to monitor the preparedness in their state of the cases. What's the spike? What's the preparedness? Hospitals are ready to look out or not if the patients admit in a huge capacity. So that's what Health Ministry is looking into. The meeting will start in a short while. So that's the major thing. But what is the major thing is that mask. Will masks be mandatory or not? It will depend on the COVID cases. If there's a spike of more than 10% in all these states, then only masks will be made mandatory. But till now, mask mandatory is not what Health Ministry is looking into. They're only looking into the preparedness of the hospital and facilities in all these states. Samiksha, back to you.
All right, Harsha, thank you for the moment. So, Harsha getting us the latest on the COVID review meet, which would be chaired by the Union Health Minister in short while from now. In fact, remember, the active COVID tally stands at more than 28,000 cases, with more than 6,000 cases having been reported in the last 24 hours itself. But that's all we have for you in this edition. But lots coming up on the other side of this very short break. DMK hits out, questions Tamil Nadu governor, says show proof to prove claims on the Sterlite protests in 2018. And battle for Karnataka heats up, Bommaya and team in the national capital today.
How do you see Israel helping India in combating the water crisis?
It's a major problem here in India, and we have the solutions. So we are trying to work together, bringing the information, bring the technologies, bringing the excellent centers that we have here in India. And I know Prime Minister Modi deals with that a lot, and he was successful to bring dozens and dozens of millions to accessibility to water. And this is a great success. And I would like us to work more closely on that.
In regard with the paper leak issue, we have been seeing how there has been two different FIRs, one being in the Karimnagar jurisdiction and the another FIR which was filed is under Warangal jurisdiction. The legal cell of Bharatiya Janata Party and the Bandi Sanjay's team says that the manner in which Bandi Sanjay was arrested was not right, and that is a violation of the Supreme Court guidelines. On that lines, there was a quash petition which was filed in the High Court, and there's a bail petition which is filed in Warangal Court. So we'll have to wait and watch for further developments.
The India developmental model is the right model which the world can follow, and that is the opportunity that we have before us.
I believe that you are soaked in the philosophy of nation first.
A very good morning. You're watching Republic TV with me, Rakshita Mishra. But before we move on, we start with the bulletin. Ladies and gentlemen, let us tell you that India's biggest news event is back. The third edition of the Republic Summit will be held in the national capital this month. The biggest names, the biggest newsmakers, the biggest agents of